Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the FB4 Daily. It is Thursday. It is the 18th of July. The US tour is upon us. Starting tomorrow night against Borussia Dortmund. What am I going to do tonight? A few bits to talk to tonight. Talk about Dembele and Coutinho straight away. We will. We get there. Before we get going. Sorry. The Fatback 4 Daily today is brought to you by Dan Designs UK at Hendo27 on Twitter, Hendo_designs on Instagram. This guy does artwork, stickers, different bits and pieces. He's really good. He's a really nice guy. Get on to him there. You can see all the details. The details will be on the screen at the end, and he will be tagged later on Twitter with our audio and video links. So Dan Designs UK, he's our sponsor for this evening. Get on to him, have a look at his stuff. As with him and all the other sponsors, they are all really, really good. Tonight I am not alone. I'm not alone tonight. I have brought Ciaran on. Ciaran, he will be with me for the next half an hour or so, and hopefully going forward we'll do a couple of shows, or at least one a week with me, and we'll see how we get on. Ciaran, how are you?
Hey man, yeah, I'm good, thanks. I'm good. How are you? You holding up in this heat?
Well, it's not that hot in Ireland, I'm being honest with you. It's very mixed weather-wise, but I believe it's nice over your way then, yeah?
No, it's actually been raining today, but it's now sticky as anything in London.
Yeah, one of those. Right, we're going to get into it. Ciaran, I'm going to let you pick the first subject we'll go with. Everyone knows how this works. We'll start on a subject. It could go anywhere. It usually goes anywhere. It went completely off the wall last night for the last 5 minutes. We might try that again tonight. But what do you want to go with first, Ciaran? I'll give you first shout.
Well, it's probably the slowest Liverpool news day of all time. So I think we're going to have to go with the absurd transfer. A rumour of Neymar going back to Barcelona in exchange for 2 of the 6 players that have been mentioned, Titi, Coutinho, Dembele, they're probably the main ones, Rakovic as well, plus 90 million sterling, I heard, 95 million euros, 100 million euros, which if PSG have the chance to take that sort of money for a player they bought for 200 that has missed months of each of the 2 seasons he's been there. He's caused loads of controversy while he's there, and rumours of, bust up, over who takes the penalties with Cavani, and generally just a bit of a prima donna. And they've got, the world's best young footballer outside of Trent Alexander-Arnold in Mbappe there. So they're going to build the team around him. Tuchel likes to work with young players. I don't think that was ever really he's kind of a work hard manager. You can imagine that Neymar's a bit of a flicks and tricks trainer. So they should bite their hand off, getting young Dembele, who's French, obviously, worked with Tuchel before when they were at Borussia Dortmund. He can play either side of a front three with Mbappe, maybe moving down the middle, or him and Cavani would sort of all be fairly fluid. He's a bit younger as well than Neymar, probably 5-6 years younger. So, offers a really exciting attacking option. The Coutinho one's an interesting one, because where does he play, for them that he could play for anyone else? Because Barcelona kind of have this idea of what Coutinho looked like before he came. Jurgen Klopp laughed when he heard that he was being touted as the replacement for Iniesta. He was proven right. He's not he doesn't necessarily fit the role of that in a Barcelona team, which they're so used to keeping the ball, they don't need to be so defensive. Whereas at Liverpool, if we lost the ball, the whole team would sprint back. Whereas Barcelona, you've got Suarez and Messi, they're not going to run back and help you out if you lose the ball. So he doesn't quite fit in there. And then playing as the wide forward on the left in the Barcelona team, that doesn't quite work either. He's kind of there just to provide for Jordi Alba to whip the ball over to Messi. It's kind of their sort of stock routine, and that worked obviously for the Suarez goal in the semi-final. But Coutinho going over there, I mean, that would be an amazing fit for them as well. They dominate most teams. He'd be blamming them in from 40 yards against the Farmers. So yeah, I mean, personally, I'd like to see Coutinho back, but maybe we can go into that later. But yeah, if that's the offer to PSG should be every day of the week and twice on Sunday on that deal.
Yeah, listen. There's loads of comments coming in over this, so and keep them coming. Keep all your comments coming in. I'll keep up with them as much as I can, and we'll anything that goes kind of off on a tangent somewhere. I'm willing to run with it. A couple of points there on this one, right? Kevin Sullivan says that what's his name, Dembele, didn't impress Tuchel when he was leaving Borussia Dortmund. I'm going to take your word for that. I didn't know if he was there when he was leaving. I couldn't tell you where Tuchel was. I hate that fucking man for the record. Secondly, somebody has said there that this bid, they don't know how true this is because it was reported the same about 3 to 4 days ago and it was proven to be false. Thirdly, someone's made a point saying, Jesus, imagine being offered those. Imagine Barca are literally telling these 6 players we don't want you, which is a very, very good point on it.
How can they stay at the club?
Well, you see, that's the thing, because you're basically saying to PSG, these are 6 players we're happy to get rid of in order to get Neymar. So even if say like an Umtiti and a Rakitic go, for argument's sake, you're going to be left with Coutinho, Dembele, and whoever else is being offered, sitting there going, well, they wanted to get rid of us for you if Neymar turned up. Why do I hate Tuchel? I just hate his demeanour. I don't know what it is about him. I just don't like the man. There's probably not a lot in it why I don't like him, but I just don't. It's just one of those things. And I don't really...
He's got a bit of a...
I don't really dislike people just for no reason, but he's probably one of them that I do. But the main thing I find on this is, and it was a comment that Shawnee of the Trippers was making... while we're in the middle of a massive row over Adam Lallana, we got talking about this bid and this offer that had come in, and the thing Shawnee said to me, and it made a lot of sense. One, he doesn't see this deal happening for a couple of reasons. PSG would need hard cash, and they don't need 90 million. They need more than 90 million. So PSG will probably be looking at a deal like 150 or 60 million plus one player. And Barcelona don't have 150 million plus one player. This is why they're trying to get rid of the 2. And PSG don't want 2, they want 1 on money. So this could be a bit of a weird one. And Shawnee seems to have a really good point. So for me, I don't know if it's lazy journalism with this one with 90 million and 2 players. But for them 6, I don't know who named these 6 players. I'd be interested to find out who put this out, that these 6 players is reliable. Is it a reliable kind of source? But we'll have to wait and see. For me,
well, let's think of it this way: how many swap deals can you remember in the last 5 years?
You don't really get them.
Lukaku and Rooney. There's not loads.
Yeah, and well, Lukaku and Rooney weren't even a swap deal. Rooney was going on a free anyway.
There's talk that he was going to be 90 million, but they reduced it to 75. And Rooney.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's you're right in what you're saying. How many swap deals do you see? Because
you see them in the papers all the time, right?
But they never happen.
They never happen. I think I don't know if the agents don't get their fees and stuff like that.
Barry Carr says that Eto'o and Ibrahimovic was a swap deal. Possibly, yeah. But how long ago was that? Are we talking?
Yeah, 10 years.
10 years ago, somewhere around that. Sanchez and Mkhitaryan, was it a swap deal?
Yeah, that was a straight swap, and it was a terrible move for both parties. That was a lose-lose.
Yeah. Was it a straight swap? I thought there was money involved.
No, I don't think there was.
All right, maybe there wasn't, but you don't see many of them. But especially with 2 players going in the other direction, that way it's a bit of a
money as well. It's such a complicated one. I just can't see how it could happen.
I love like we've spoken all week and probably further back than that about Coutinho and about Dembele. I'd like people that are watching now, I'd love to know what you think. Is this the time now where Liverpool pounce? Is this the time where Liverpool go in and, for argument's sake, they want Dembele and they think it's around 70 or 80 million? Is now the time for them to go in and go, there's 70, give us him, you have another 70 to put to your 90, and you can get rid of Coutinho to PSG? Is that probably the way, if Liverpool are interested, Kieran. Is that something they could explore?
If your friend Sean knows that about PSG's financial situation, then I'm assuming that Michael Edwards would, So if it's cash that they need, chucking in 70. Well, I don't know if our cash actually helps Barcelona, because a lot of ours will be cancelling the money that they owe us, and it's paid off over the next couple of years, I'm guessing still. Whereas if another club give them 90 million for Coutinho, that might give them, they don't have to pay all the extras because he's not going to play 100 games, he's not going to win the Champions League and all the rest of it. So they'll lose all the extras and they'll pay us back some of it. So it might mean that there will be, more. They might end up with 50 million more if they sell to someone else, even if it's for similar amounts of money.
But this is the I suppose the conundrum that Barcelona are in, and it's the confusing bit of it all, because Coutinho only went, 18 months ago. The talk was 142 million, and then there was up to 142 million, like, with add-ons and stuff like that. There was an article yesterday saying Liverpool, if Coutinho leaves Barcelona, will lose out on a certain amount of, I suppose, bonuses and stuff. But I could have sworn I read somewhere Liverpool had a sell-on clause in there. But it's very hard for Liverpool to find out exactly how much he was sold for if he goes as part of a double deal.
Yeah.
Do you get me?
Yeah.
Like,
what's 10% of
well, it's
of
not even that.
deal?
It's not even that. Like, what's to stop Barcelona and PSG saying, listen, we're doing this deal, but if anybody asks, we gave you 90 million euros and 2 players for free, and we called the deal 90 million.
I just don't think Neymar's worth it.
Well, look, I don't care if Neymar's worth it. He's not coming near Liverpool. But what would you do in this situation? Is it a situation if, say for argument's sake, Ciaran, we want Coutinho, right, or we want Dembele? Is now the time for us to act and say, how do we get in there, remove a player from Barcelona that we want, okay?
Yep.
And sell it to them that, listen, we're going to supply you, especially in the Dembele case, we're going to supply you with the funds to put to your 90 million and go to Barcelona and offer them, say, Coutinho, and what we'll do, and then they could discuss the whole what's left on the Coutinho deal. Do you get what I'm saying?
So there's a few things here that if they need the cash now, then that's one thing. A lot of the articles I've seen have been, 2-year loan deals with an obligation to buy. Now, they make a lot of sense. I don't know how, in reality, how much different that is. Let's say, for example, it was Dembele, and we're paying, I don't know, 10, 15 million a year for a loan fee with an obligation to buy at the end. Is that much different to actually buying the player and having to pay 15 million or 20 million up front, then 15 million?
Yeah, because it is usually, for argument's sake, 80 million, you're looking at probably 40 up front, and over 5 years we'll pay you, if there's 40 left in it, over 5 years we pay you 8, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A year. But the Coutinho one is the one that's muddying all the waters here. As a matter of interest, Ciaran, I've never asked you this. Do you go for Coutinho or do you go for Dembele, or is there somebody else apart from them two?
I really hope you wouldn't ask me, because I'm thinking about it now. So, do you go better the devil you know? I know Coutinho. I know he can play different positions. He's, his bezies are there, and all the rest of it. Or do you go with Dembele, who is more talented, got more higher potential, has been a nightmare at a couple of clubs to try and get out on moves, but is, I think, Klopps the sort of guy that can sit down and level with somebody and say, look, this is your big chance to become, top 3 player in the world. Look at what we've done with Mane and Salah, and they don't have as much potential as you. You could replace Bobby up front and put Bobby in the 10 or something, along those lines. Or we just live with having 4 world-class forwards, which would be fucking amazing. It's difficult as it stands right now, because we lost the league by 1 point and we won the Champions League, and we've got all these amazing opportunities. Look, if we play half decently next season, we could win 3 trophies. We could win a couple of them. We could win 3 by Christmas. It would be an amazing achievement if, imagine if we go and win the league and plus 3 or 4 other trophies. it doesn't have to be the Champions League again, but we could win 3 or 4 of the others. It'd be the best season ever. Klopp would be the biggest manager, and it would look like a masterstroke pulling off one of these transfers. I just worry about the workload of all these players. So as it stands at the moment, I'd take Bruno Fernandes. I just take an extra one. But I'd love to see Dembele and see what he could do.
Yeah,
I'd love to see him under Klopp. You know what I mean? Like a world-class manager with a world-class talent. If we got him, it means that we're not getting Mbappe, but it means that we're never going to get him, because we wouldn't be getting all of them, unless there was some serious sales going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would be Dembele. If it was gun against my head, Dembele.
Yeah. To be honest with you, if it was gun to my head, it'd be Dembele as well. I've openly said that I'd have Coutinho back, for various reasons. But if there was to pick one of them, I think it's Dembele. I think he suits what we're doing a little bit more. And what I mean by that is that we need somebody in that front three, which is pace, power, skill, creative. And Dembele ticks all them boxes for what we need right now.
He's genuinely two-footed. So,
yeah, he's absolutely two-footed.
I've heard people say, he can take a free kick in a corner with the wrong foot.
Yeah.
And people don't actually know which one the wrong foot is half the time. So, whereas Coutinho, you know what he's doing, don't you? He's telegraphing it. But as a special move goes, shifting out your feet and top bins with the right peg was quite a good finishing move.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, it's just, I've said it all. I thought we'd do 2 or 3 signings. I thought it'd be an attacking player, as in someone that can play across the front three. I thought it'd be a left back, and I thought if it was a third, it would probably be a midfield player, a creative midfield player. That doesn't look like it'll happen if Coutinho's not going to happen. But Dembele for me. One lad here says Bild has linked us with a move for Kai Havertz. And another guy, Maverick, I think it was Maverick, said that you get Ziyech and Firpo for a lot less than you would have to pay for Dembele or Coutinho, and it would balance the squad out a lot more. That's a fair point.
So Ziyech makes more sense maybe than Firpo?
No, what he was saying was Ziyech,
for the same price.
Ziyech and Firpo you get for less money than you would pay for Dembele or Coutinho, and would make your squad a lot more balanced. That's a very fair point from Maverick.
I think genuinely right now, FSG and Klopp and everyone are looking at the way that transfers are going and thinking we're actually probably as good as anyone at developing the right talent. So we need to save ourselves spending. There'll be a centre back in the next 2 years that costs 100 million quid. Harry Maguire's not going to be far off. So we've got to get used to that world. So we're going to have to go and get these Van der Bergs and train them and develop them and break them into the first team quite quickly. Keanu Hoover, could he be right back this season? He can also play centre back.
Yeah,
if he does well under 23s.
I think the biggest thing for Hoover will be as cover for Trent for this season. I think that's as far
that's perfect.
I think that's okay for the season for him.
That's why I don't know about you. I get excited about pre-season, just seeing the youngsters, because I don't watch all the under 23 games and and stuff like that. I remember a couple of years ago when Keita was playing for Leipzig, and it was when my wife we just had our first baby. So I'd be watching Leipzig on a Thursday night because I wasn't out in the pub anymore. I was just at home, looking after the little one. And it's ace when players are out on loan. I know it wasn't quite a loan, but I think that and when Wilson was at Derby as well, it's quite nice putting on the TV on a Monday night. Oh, Derby are playing. I'll see how he's getting on.
Yeah,
it'd be good to see some of these youngsters go and make some good loans. But also Keanu Hoover, I'd like to see him in and around the first team probably as a backup right back. I don't think we need to sign another right back, because how are you going to get a younger one than Trent and Keanu?
Yeah,
you have to get like a 12-year-old to come and be backup. We're just going to get younger and younger.
And that's fair enough, but Hoover to me looks like a great utility defender, and what I mean by that is you're looking at centre back or right back, and I think he could be blooded at right back this season in certain games, League Cup, FA Cup and stuff like that. But I think you'll see him around. Another couple that we've spoken about already, I think they will leave Kent, possibly Wilson, people like that. But we'll discuss them again. We'll discuss them again in future shows. There's a couple of things I want to touch on before we finish. 20 minutes in already. What do people make of Klopp's comments? I'm going to give this one to you, Ciaran, because you were the one that kind of alerted me to this in the press conference. So fill us in on what Klopp said, and then people can comment and see what you think.
Yeah, I haven't got the exact quote right in front of me, but he was asked, how long do you think you'll stay? And he said, 3 years at least. Why do we have to talk about this right now? But yeah, at least 3 years. So, he didn't completely shut it down. He didn't say, I don't want to talk about this now. He was fairly open about it. That would be the signing of the summer if we get him for the next 5 years, even if it's just a 2-year extension. I've been thinking about this a lot, about Klopp, and people going, you hear the German journalists go, oh, well, he always does 7 years in a club. He did 7 years at Dortmund because he had that terrible season and decided he needed a break. He had a longer contract. I think he finished it earlier. He decided, halfway through the season, once he got them safe, or they were sort of safe by like February, March, told them he was going to leave and take a break at the end of the season. I think so long as we don't start selling our best players unless he wants to do that, or they want to go or rebuild, I can't see him wanting to leave, because otherwise he's not going to go. He's not going to go and build something else again. Because if he is thinking, I want to retire or whatever at some stage and manage Germany, the building is the bit that excites him. The 3-4 years on the training ground and all that sort of stuff. I can't see him going somewhere else and doing it. Where would you go? Atletico, or he'd maybe pick. I don't know.
I think the one that
sleeping giant.
I think the one that concerns me is in 3 years' time is exactly when the World Cup of that year ends, and if Joachim Low decides he's had enough with Germany, come that time, I think the German FA will be big into Klopp, just as he's ending a possible contract at Liverpool. I think that's where that will come from. Somebody says
Klopp is a training ground manager. In 3 years' time, he'll be 55.
Yeah,
that's still pretty young as a manager.
Yeah, that's true as well.
And I'm trying to think of which manager it was that went and did international and just said they got bored out their brains. It was actually Jose Mourinho was very, very close to taking the England job a few years ago, and then he talked about it a couple of years later and just said the idea of not being on the training ground and speaking to the boys and all that sort of stuff, and you see Gareth Southgate going around different grounds in his waistcoat. It doesn't look like much fun. Klopp wants to be down there on the side with the boys.
Yeah, he wants the everyday involvement and stuff like that, doesn't he? I suppose.
Yeah. And he's a training ground manager. He's a coach.
Yeah, but maybe the argument I'd have to that would be that in 3 years' time he will be 55, but in 3 years' time he'll be 21 years managing. Do you know what I mean? So it's 21 years of intense kind of work, and there's nothing more intense than Liverpool. But most people I speak to are fairly confident on Klopp. The only argument is when he will sign it. Some people think he'll sign it really soon. Some think in the next 6 months. But look, I wouldn't be too concerned over the Klopp situation. The US tour, of course, starts tomorrow night. Let me know. We're going to do a show tomorrow night at 10 o'clock. That's just a given. I think it kicks off at 1 o'clock. Isn't it 1 o'clock British and Irish time?
You're not doing a 3 a.m. show, Gav?
No, well, I was thinking of doing it at 10 p.m. Going off and get some food, and then I'll stay up and at 1 a.m. I think is the kick-off time here. I'll come back on. If you want me to come back on, I will come back on and I'll watch the matches, and we'll have a drink and we'll have a bit of laugh as we go along. We won't do mad commentary. We'll all just watch it together, throw our comments in, have a bit of crack, go random, stuff like that. If you want to do it, let me know. If you don't, tell me, Gav, go away, and I'll go away. I'll watch on my own. It's no problem. I've literally no issues with that. We go for another 4 or 5 minutes. There's no problem. We're 24 minutes in, but we keep going. But yeah, the US tour is upon us. Ciaran, I suppose, Borussia Dortmund. It's the first real test of pre-season. Most players are back, bar the lads at the Copa America, and the AFCON, which Mane plays in the final tomorrow night. But what are you hoping to see tomorrow night? Just quickly, what are you thinking?
Oh yeah, game of two halves, two teams. No, I just like seeing the young players and seeing how they blood in. Desperate for Brewster to just, score 10 in pre-season, and I think I think we should get another attacker. But if we didn't, Ryan Kent's showing some good form. I'd like to see him against some better defenders. because he does well in Scotland, but yeah, they're not always the best defenders in Scotland either. So it'd be good to see him. I'm not that fussed about Lallana either way. I think he should stay for the season and be a seventh option, Cruyffen on the bench. And Keanu Hoover and also Larouci. I'm loving seeing him bombing around. He's got Divoc's hairstyle and he's built like an absolute tank. So yeah, really, really exciting to see those guys. Those guys going. Dortmund. They've made quite a few signings as well. Quite nice to see Julian Brandt finally.
Yeah.
I'm quite looking forward to seeing Lisbon and seeing if they play Camacho, because I think we've got a buyback clause with him.
Yeah, he's probably not allowed to play against us.
He was someone I always wanted to see play as a forward. He'll probably tear it up over there and get 18 goals this season. If he applies himself. He's supposed to be really, really good talent. It's just difficult to break into our front three. You kind of already have to be established to do it. So it's difficult to do it from within.
Yeah, go on.
Barry's just said, Kev's just said Sancho running at the fullbacks. Yeah, I've seen a lot of flashes of Sancho, and I saw him again when Borussia Dortmund played Spurs in the Champions League. Kid's a talent, isn't he? He's got magic in his feet. He's again a bit two-footed. He's not blamming them in. He's just so quick, fast of mind, and the way they play, they swarm like bees. They're a bit like us. He would fit our play like a dream. I remember I did watch a lot of the under 17s World Cup with him and Brewster tearing it up, and then he got recalled from loan, didn't he? So he didn't finish it, and Brewster carried on where he'd started. But Brewster looks quality, and I think I just like his goals. I like the header the other day. So yeah, I want to see some Brewster goals. I want to see a Kent assist. I want to see Milner showing us his enormous muscles. The guy's absolutely ripped.
Yeah, he is ripped. But what I will say is he's 33. People are going on as if he's 60. He's an absolute prime athlete. And listen, if he wasn't looking like that, I'd be a little bit worried for the amount of running and weights he does. What else have I got here? Maverick says he's looking forward to seeing Kent, Hoover and Larouci and De Berg. De Berg won't play tomorrow. He still hasn't got his clearance apparently.
Yeah,
from FIFA. That as well. FIFA must be on their holidays. Barry Carr says Lallana controlling from 6. Yeah, okay. You want to see the row I have with Sean Lawson from the Trippers today about Adam Lallana. It was it got a bit heated, let's just say. Chris says, yeah, let's do this show tomorrow night at 1 a.m. Yeah, I'm all for it. If you want to do it, just let me know, and I'll do it. We'll have a little chat about it tomorrow anyway. It's no big deal. We can have a chat at 10 o'clock tomorrow. Somebody else says, can this show be longer? I'm trying to keep the show to about 20, 25 minutes, 30 tops. I'm currently on 28 minutes. I'm breaking the rules. I really am.
Sorry.
No. We're breaking it together, Ciaran. It's as much as my fault as it is yours. But yeah, look, I've no problem going to 30 minutes. 30 minutes is no problem. We will do 30 minutes tomorrow night, I promise, and then we go at 1 o'clock. Listen, if you're coming in at 1 o'clock, don't expect any commentary. Watch the game with us. We'll have a bit of crack while we're doing it, and we go from there. That's about us for tonight. We've covered a few subjects there as best we could. Tonight has been brought to you by Dan Designs UK at DanHendo27 on Twitter, Hendo_designs on the Instagram. Thanks a million for watching as usual. Yous are all the business, I have to say. Loads of people are becoming regulars on this. I'm noticing their name popping up all the time. But look, tell your friends, come on. I don't mind even if you don't support Liverpool. Come on and give your views. And listen, if you're a Spurs fan or a United fan and you want to, if you want to give an opinion on them, I'll give you my opinion on an honest opinion on any player I know or any team or how I see them and stuff like that. I'm quite interested in a few clubs on how they're going to do this season. But no, that's been us. Ciaran, thanks a million for joining us tonight. I'm sure we'll see you soon again.
Yeah, that'd be great. If you guys want me, let me know. I'm at Clavan Dyke on Twitter, so yeah, get in touch.
No problem at all. Thanks a million for everyone for joining us. That's been us. That's been the Fatback 4 Daily. We will be back with you tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Friday tomorrow, thank God. Talk to you then. Over now.
Cheers. Bye.